This is Hadrian Radio, coming to you from Free Catalonia, a KA radio production.
They did not know it was impossible, so they did it. Mark Twain. I'm David Rabantos. This is chapter 25 of Radio Hadrian in its English language edition. We are still focused in the Catalan fight for independence, though I promise to get involved back in the fight for Scottish independence that I'm missing nowadays, but as an apology, I'll say that I'm quite involved in starting the peaceful revolution that will bring Catalonia to independence. We are growing day by day with people joining us from different parts of Catalonia, people who have discovered the enormous deception that the Catalan in the process is, where our political parties, leaders, media work for Spain, though they pretend to work for Catalonia. This is, I'm 24 hours, not 24 hours because that's an exaggeration, but sometimes days of 18 or 20 hours working to make the Catalan resistance the project that will lead Catalonia to independence. So while doing this, I'm fully aware I'm collaborating with the Scottish independence, which is not in the books if we don't change things dramatically. So we maintain our compromise that if we bring Catalonia to independence, as we are quite convinced we're gonna do, we're gonna turn our eyes to our brothers and sisters in Scotland to help them in our capability of a newly independent state, which is gonna be state by the hand of those around me, to help as much as we can so Scotland can reach its own well-deserved independence. This week's program is we're gonna keep doing this. We're gonna do a summary of what the Catalan process has been, and then we can talk about some of the things that might or might have not reached you there in Scotland. As always, we're trying to make an effort to promote this program, and we have more people listening to the Catalan version. So, but if somebody there that can promote this program, like spreading it in social media or in other media or email, try to make this program reach, because it's the only source to get some truth about the Catalan situation, and that gives you a lot of hints about what goes on in Scotland. We're promoting it on the streets. We are having people that are joining the Catalan resistance, which has in this program its main loudspeaker, and we encourage you to do the same. As I think we commented last week, we also started the Spanish edition of Radio Hadrian, so we want to be a little voice in this kind of desert of disinformation about Scotland, Catalonia, and other big truths in the world. I'll do a summary of the process in the last years in Catalonia and how things are going, and then I'll explain some of the things you might have heard, but you haven't heard any main truth about what goes in Catalonia, the same way as you don't get any truth about what goes on in Scotland. The Catalan process started in 2009 when the grassroots started non-binding referendums that ended up in more than 600 municipalities, including Barcelona, where people voted overwhelmingly, if only about 25% of the people went to vote. But that started the movement. Then there was also a political party called Reagrupament, and then there was also a business lobby for independence started by my friend and member of Resistència Independentista Catalana, or the Catalan Resistance for Independence, Ramon Carné. These three things Spain needed to put a stop to. When you've been dominated through army for 300 years, everything you love is supposed to be in the hands of your enemy. And we need to start thinking strategically, because otherwise neither Scots nor Catalans we don't stand a chance. Everything we love is in the hands of our enemy, because everything Scottish is British until we get independence. The same way as everything Catalan is Spanish until we become independent. So we need to know this. Our side is run by the other side. So what we see is nothing else than controlled opposition. So no matter how much we march, we are keyboard warriors, or we vote, or whatever we do, we are inside a rigged system, which is a Truman Show system. So nothing you do in that fake world of the Truman Scotland or the Truman Catalonia has any effect. We are here in Catalonia pumping people towards reality, and every day we are getting people joining us. I'm doing personal interviews with people that want to lay a hand, help us bring down this fake regime of make-believe independence that never comes. So this process that was started by the people was neutralized by Spain, but which created associations and parties supposedly for independence that work against it. One is the Assemblea Nacional Catalana, run by Carme Forcadell, later member of Catalan Parliament, which is a double agent for Spain, and created a party called Solidaritat, similar name to Solidarity, but no other links as far as we know. And from here we send a greeting to Pat Lee and Solidarity, which we hope to meet soon to enforce both our independence movements. So thanks for your niceness and help, Pat and Solidarity. As always, thanking KA Radio and Cheryl Scott, because this program has become the torch or the beacon of light that is helping a lot of people to come out of the Catalan process nightmare to join the Catalan independence dream that we're gonna make come true. So as we clarified, then Spain neutralized all these movements. From 2010, everybody you know, Junqueras, Puigdemont, PDeCAT, Esquerra, CUP, all these things are make-believe. And some people say, like, why would they promote this if they're not for independence? Well, the Catalan people have started it in 2009. So they arrived in 2010 just to neutralize it, to kill it, to murder it while pretending to want it. In previous chapters we said, only the one you listen to can lie to you. Only the one you love can break your heart. Only the one you believe in can betray you. And only the one that is close to you can stab you at the back. So it's only Nicola Sturgeon or Alex Salmond or Angus Brendan McNeil or Angus Robertson, or you name it, Very Black. All those we love. We have the equivalent here in Catalonia. It's the same thing. Or we have some old ones, so we need some new ones. And then we need to cover every gender, every sexual option, every age group, because we need to keep everybody hooked on this tremendous Truman Show of the never-endums and indeceptions in both Scotland and Catalonia and lots of places everywhere in the world. So everything you hear is fiction. It's fake declarations of independence that bring about fake repression, which means fake imprisonments. Not fake because they are there, but it's part of a business plan or a career plan. Like the same way as when you're infiltrated in a drug dealers and they pick you up, they need to put you in prison sometime, because otherwise they would be giving away your cover. So everything that reaches out there, it's basically a lie. The process now, the objective of the world is to murder Catalan and Scottish independence, to make it through so-called democratic processes, to protect the infiltrators, both in Scotland and Catalonia, so they can keep betraying us, to avoid contagion both in Scotland or Catalonia and other parties, to murder Catalan and Scottish independence for centuries. That's why we've had here Anonymous and WikiLeaks and European Union and Trump and everybody and anybody, Nobel Prize winners, you name it, because it's the 15 minutes that the world has allocated to murder Catalan independence forever. And the way to do that is that's why they've let us celebrate two fake declarations of independence, the 10th and 27th of October. Because when you've marched for 6 years in millions, and then you voted for a referendum and you declare it twice, and then you get violence, and then your own side let you down saying, we were not ready, we didn't have a majority, we didn't foresee Spain will react in force. Unilateral is not the good way to do it or whatever. All these are messages that are being sent all over the world. But mainly it's being sent to Catalans. Companies moving away from Catalonia now considering to come back. All this violence coming from both sides is to murder independence forever. If marching for 6 years, declaring it twice and voting it in a referendum didn't bring independence, we'll better forget it and settle for Divomax or Divomin, as it always is with Spaniards. Divomin that they wouldn't even fulfill. To do this, on top of that, they mock us because they put people that work for them in prison, so we march and cry for them. And we put money to pay bail for them that worked for the enemy. This process runs both sides. The unionist and the pro-Indie side work together, and it's just like a world wrestling match or this kind of Washington diplomats against Harlem Globetrotters. The result is agreed beforehand, but they need to murder it in a Scottish-style referendum like they did twice in Quebec and once in Scotland. And that's why everything is following that pattern. Now, Catalan parties are advocating a Scottish-style referendum that would murder independence. Okay, situation being this, now there are several things happening around the Catalan in the process that we would like to clarify for you to understand what it goes on. Catalan president or members of government and the leaders of the two grassroots organizations are in court. They are in prison, but their case has been moved from Audiencia Nacional to Tribunal Supremo, which is supposed to be a bit more lenient. So they might be set free with charges on Monday, so they can present themselves to the elections and be elected again, which wouldn't be too much of a surprise considering they work for the other side, as we expressed. Catalan President Carles Puigdemont in Chapter 3 or Oriol Junqueras in Chapter 4, they're both double agents that are put with AR with the help of also double agent Joan Vives and Soler Vicens, of whom we've spoke about in a few chapters, but mainly in Chapter 5. And the truth is, as we said, there was two fake declarations of independence, but Spain needed to protect the traitors that made it possible. So the only way to protect them is to pretend to attack them. That's why Puigdemont is in Brussels and the rest are in prison. But that's a way to protect them, because if pro-Indie people open their eyes and realize we've been betrayed by our own side, they would be in physical danger. But not even they are in a prison in Madrid or are hiding in Brussels, are they? So that's how big the deception is. So possibly they're set free on Monday so they can compete in elections, but maybe not. Something else happening is even included in Polonia, which is a Catalan spitting image, which is used to brainwash Catalans thinking that this program is for independence, but it's the contrary. And now everybody is having yellow ribbons for the people in prison, and all kind of things and marches are being planned, which is a big joke because these people protected Spain from breakup twice in a month. So we crying and marching for our enemies' agents. One of the worst of these things is Catalan people will march in Brussels in thousands, maybe 20,000 people spending 200 euros each. But it's not the first time. They marched in Brussels in 2009, then again in 2014, where now Anarque, the Spanish agent and wife of also Spanish agent Joan Vicens Soler Vicens, and former girlfriend of spy Joan Vicens Soler Vicens, and also Spanish spy Elisenda Palousier, in their ICEC, International Commission of European Citizens, that is very active in Scotland as well, and these people write in Bella Caledonia, and they're very infiltrated in Scotland as well. They created havoc and problems with the grassroots organizations about marching there in Brussels, where it didn't serve any purpose. But they did it anyways, to get a name and to create problems, as they always do. And now for a third time, they're gonna do it again. We said a few times that independence is being murdered by so-called pro-indie people, and they're doing it in Barcelona. So it's not about Madrid or Brussels or Jupiter. It's about so-called Catalan independentists betraying us. But we always try to talk to mature people in this program, and not to happy people in their Teletubby world. To build independence against a treacherous empire like the British Empire, or in its last legs empire like the Spanish one, you need a lot of motivation, or illusion is a false friend. It's not illusion, but you need like the passion, the motivation, the drive. You also need time, and you also need money, because with money you can liberate people, or you can have media, or you can promote things. And with time you can have people working to build a revolution, the peaceful revolution that brings independence. And motivation you need for anything in life, especially to bring on its knees a centuries old empire. So the perversion of this is these marches are served to nothing, and they are actually organized by Spain. 20,000 people spending 200 euros each, it means about 4 million euros. And thousands of days that are lost going to Brussels. And a lot of motivation spent in something that's not working. If that money was allocated to projects dedicated to tell the truth about the deception, to build up the social network, or to have digital newspapers, or create media, we would be at the door of independence. And that's why Spain has to promote fake performances, fake marches, fake selling of t-shirts, and everything is fake. So that motivation, time, and financial resources are not allocated to projects like the Catalan resistance. That's how perverse it is. We're being attacked sometimes, the Catalan resistance, saying, oh, it's time to be together, divide and rule, and all these dime a dozen argumentations that are there only to keep the bright people from joining the Catalan resistance. And I have to say loud and clear that that's the opening sentence actually in the Catalan version this week, which is the independentist gathering or independence union. The union of the independentists is called Resistencia Independentista Catalana, or Catalan Resistance for Independence. Because the so-called indie parties, they have non-declared independence twice in 1 month, so they're not independentists. But they don't want unity, because 2 years ago they competed under 2 different lists, but they've done worse now. And they're competing under 3 different lists, which makes it more difficult for them to get a majority. So it's a bit offensive for intelligences to be attacked like Catalan resistance is being attacked in the name of the unity of independentism, when the parties they are marching and voting for are against independence, and they've proved, and against unity because they go on different lists. So we are the unity of independentism, and we're gathering, and we're gonna gather 3 million people, and we're gonna vote them out of parliament, and we're gonna declare independence. And then, and only after that, the Catalan people will decide which way they want to rule themselves. To go closing, I'll mention how important for us it is that Ramon Carné has joined. He is somebody that has been fighting for independence for the small and middle businesses, which are the core businesses in Catalonia. He's a proud member of the Catalan resistance now, and we already tried to set up a party 3 years ago. It didn't work, and now we're together again, and we're not gonna stop till we declare independence against all the fake indie parties that are trying to get us. And of course, a lot of infiltrators and government shields are attacking Ramon for siding with us, which means that it's the best thing for Catalonia that he has. So we're gonna keep doing what Spain doesn't want us to do. And thanks again, Ramon Carné, for siding or for joining the Catalan resistance. There's I'm not gonna put names because they're very private names, but I want to talk about some sort of things. Well, there's a guy that he says he has 170,000 people following his page. But we have explained about him. He's called Marc Serra, and for 7 years he's been an infiltrator. And now he pretends that Spain wants to bring him to court for having criticized Spanish violence the 1st of October, and that his page is being closed. This is fake conflict again. This guy we have mentioned, we've given proof. He's done state terror against me. He's been breaking up Catalan indie parties since we know him. He works for Spain. So now Spain attacking its own to pretend they work for Catalonia. There's other examples. Like that's the same reason why Catalan members of parliament or government are in prison, to make them heroes instead of traitors. And that's the same reason why CUP, which is a so-called anti-system, so-called pro-indie party, everything so-called or supposedly, is having some kind of performance of extreme right-wing Catalan fascist. Well, this splinter group CUP has attacked me in many ways I can number. They have betrayed independence in 4 or 5 big times, non-declaring when they had the opportunity, being accomplices of the 2 fake declarations of independence, creating straight terror that was prior 1 week to the fake false flag attack in Barcelona in last August. And basically they are part of the Spanish forces to demolish independence from within. So again, this image you get is not very different from what goes on in Scotland. I mean, we are not even fighting because the ones that are supposed to lead us to the battlefield are leading us up the garden path. We are doing something about it. This program is the flagship of other projects that we are gathering. We are seeing real people in the real world, and things are starting to happen. We are convinced we're gonna declare Catalan independence when we have enough people to do so. We need to bring people to the real world and to help them awake from this deception. And as far as it serves as an advice, it's very frustrating sometimes. I've been insulted, attacked, ignored, hurt in many ways that I could care to remember. But I don't have any resentment or bitterness or something about it, because that's the way the world works. But we need to be mature, and we need to be knowing that we need the majority of both the Scottish and Catalan people to rally behind us to declare independence in both countries. So being aggressive or angry or tense with people which are still not awake is not going to help us. We need to be truth, and we need to tell the hard truth. So that means that we cannot access 100% of our population, because some of them are too connected to the artificial SNP lie or to the artificial Catalan process lie. So they are not potential receivers of the hard truth about the Scottish indeception or the Catalan indeception. It's like apples that are still too green to be taken, to be collected. But we have to focus on those that are already awakened, those that realize that the SNP has betrayed Scotland, those realizing that the Catalan parties have betrayed Catalonia. And of those, we cannot leave none of those apples in the tree, because they might rot in it, or somebody else working for the enemy dressed as or disguised as pro-indie might take them. So we're doing this in 2 stages. First, we need to tell the hard truth to pick up the natural leaders both of Scotland and Catalonia. And I hope to meet some of them in Scotland soon, as I said before. And then the other ones will keep maturing with our help, and because 21st of December won't bring anything for independence here, it will only be one step towards the agreed referendum to murder Indy. So we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves, we shouldn't get in heated conversations, we should keep working. And we're doing some kind of guerrilla war, peacefully of course, like leaving some flyers here and there. Some people are having conversations, we're having some meetings, we're having interviews, we're preparing a lot of information. Will appear in several media, always run from here, Radio Hadrian. And our time is coming, and our time will come. You're not alone in being alone. If you're in a group where 40 people believe the mainstream mantra, or Nicolas playing the long game, or they have a cunning plan, or it's not the right time, or all these things, but you are 1 in 40. But there's more than 5 million people in Scotland. That makes you 1 in 40 people is more than 100,000 people. So we need these 100,000 people to get the other millions following, because all our leadership is working for the other side. Only the truth will set you free. We are convinced here that both Scotland and Catalonia will be independent soon. And as we said, we are doing it because nobody told us it was impossible. Let's do this. Guanyarem!
This is Hadrian Radio, coming to you from Free Catalonia, a KA Radio production.